If you're a combat athlete, MMA fighter, kickboxer, grappler, wrestler that has ever asked the question, how many cardio days a week is best for my training? This is the video for you. What's going on? Coach Adam here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Our mission is fight science made simple. We cover everything from strength, conditioning, nutrition, and weight management, recovery, anything you need to be the best version of yourself on and off the mat. We got you covered. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything that we're dropping on the channel. And if you're digging the video, you're feeling a little generous today, hit the like button so more fighters can see this and we can impact more athletes around the world. In today's video, we're gonna be covering a topic that I get asked about all the time. How many cardio days a week is best for combat athletes? Because honestly, we see conflicting information everywhere. Some coaches say run every single day. Other coaches say you only need to do skills training. You don't need to do any extra cardio work. And through all the noise, it can be pretty difficult to really determine how much cardio you need to be doing to A, never gas out when you're sparring, and B, really dominate whoever is in front of you with relentless pace. So before we can even determine how many cardio days are really best for your training, there are 4 key factors that we need to take into consideration when developing the perfect cardio, the perfect conditioning split and routine. So number 1, the first thing that we need to consider is, what is your skill training schedule? Before we can even talk about how many cardio days you should be doing, we have to have a skill training schedule in place. You'd be shocked at how many fighters have no set skill training schedule. Maybe they do kickboxing on this day, maybe they do jiu-jitsu on that day. I'm gonna train when I feel like it, or I'm gonna train when I can get the right partners together. But the very first step to having any kind of dominance and having any type of high-level cardio is having structure, and this comes from our skill training schedule. You have to determine how many days a week are you skill training. Are you doing multiple sessions a day? Are you doing 1 session a day? What sessions are you doing on what days? If you're an MMA fighter, when are you doing kickboxing? When are you doing MMA training? When are you wrestling? When are you doing jiu-jitsu? If you're a grappler, how many days? When are you doing your jiu-jitsu work? When are you doing your live work? When are you doing your sparring, right? There are a lot of key factors that come into play here. So before you can even think about cardio, the best fighters in the world, they have structure in their skill training, and then they fit their cardio around that. The second key consideration that you should have when determining how many cardio days are best to do in a week are the demands of your life and your job. You know, I work with a ton of athletes around the world from a bunch of different walks of life. I have some athletes that work 12-hour days, pretty labor-intensive jobs like construction. I have other fighters that work 9 to 5 sedentary desk jobs. So depending on which group you fall into will help determine how many cardio days you should be doing in a week. You see, your body doesn't know the difference between stress from exercise or stress from laborious work. So if you're working 12-hour days out in the sun, burning a lot of calories, getting beat up, it's probably not beneficial to do a lot of cardio in the week, because more does not equal more. If we're doing so much work and beating our bodies up so much that we can't recover from it, then doing that cardio work on top of all of our skill training, on top of our laborious job, is doing more harm than good. On the other side, if you're working a desk job, you're working a 9 to 5 and you're not getting a ton of activity in, then you could probably benefit from doing 3, 4, maybe even 5 cardio sessions a week, because you need the extra stress on your body to cause adaptation and to actually improve performance. The third factor that we need to take into account when determining how many cardio sessions we should be doing in a week is if we even need to be improving our cardio. I see a ton of fighters that just run and run and run for the sake of doing cardio because they think that if they're not running or they're not doing a ton of cardio, the other person, their opponent, they're working harder than them, or they're not working hard enough. And the reality is not all fighters need to be doing cardio. Some fighters have enough cardio to be able to dominate at a relentless pace and take their career to a high level. This is why heart rate based conditioning and heart rate data is so important for the development of a fighter to really determine how much cardio we should be doing. The best way to figure out if you should be even doing cardio are by some simple cardio tests. There are a bunch of different tests out there. I put a link in the description to our top 3 cardio tests that we use with our UFC guys like Julio Arce, Mike Trizano. So take a look at those tests if you want and really get a good idea of if you should be doing cardio, because if not, you might just be wasting energy. So determine if you should be doing cardio before we then start doing cardio in a week. And the fourth and final consideration that we need to take into account when determining how many cardio days that we really need to be doing for unbelievable conditioning in our sport is what phase of the fight cycle are you in? Are you in camp? Do you have a fight in 8 weeks? Are you far out from a fight? Are you off camp and you don't have anything planned? Did you just fight? Are you transitioning out of a fight? This is very important. We can't be doing the same thing all of the time year round. We also can't wait until we're in fight camp to start doing an abundance of cardio and trying to get into shape. As a general rule of thumb, most of our cardio training should be done in the off camp. This means we don't have any fights booked. This means we're not trying to peak. We have the time to learn new athletic qualities, build new skills, expand our gas tank, so that when we do have a fight booked, we can use that camp to solely focus on peaking and dominating, and we don't have to stress about getting in shape. So there you have it. Those are the 4 key considerations to take into account when determining how many cardio days a week you should be doing to really dominate with a high level of conditioning. For most of our fighters, we generally do 2 or 3 cardio days, but the cardio that they're doing, the duration of the cardio, the heart rate ranges that they're working in are widely dependent on the 4 factors that we talked about in this video. Thank you for tuning in, checking out the video. I hope you got a ton of value out of it. If you did, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so, like I said earlier, you don't miss out on anything that we're dropping on the channel. And let me know in the comments down below, I'm pretty curious, how many days a week of cardio do you do? Throw it down there. I'll see you next time.